Welcome to Northwest Chills. If you're easily frightened, please turn back now. If you think you can endure this ghastly adventure, then please turn the lights off, turn the volume up, and be prepared to get chills. Viewer discretion is advised.
The rolling hills of northwestern Connecticut are filled with many ghost stories. Footprints of yesterday and foundations of tomorrow mesh into many tales of unknown creatures, mysterious people, and terrifying places. Litchfield, Connecticut is no exception to that. UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, or UFOs as most refer to them, are sighted around the world in every walk of life. And several years ago, Bantam, Connecticut, a borough of Litchfield, had a unique and unsolved encounter all its own. Tuesday, April 10th, 2012, 2 a.m. Driving down the road on a pitch-black, crisp night common to that time of year, a passerby sighted something we're sure to never forget. A frantic call to the police for an alarming sight claims a massive green glowing object the size of a whale fell directly into Bantam Lake. Now, for those unfamiliar with Bantam Lake, it's the largest freshwater lake in all of Connecticut, covering approximately 947 acres. Now, every town has their crazies, and a claim as such called into the police would usually be taken with a grain of salt, especially so close to when bars and restaurants in the area close. But simultaneously with the passerby's call to police, an on-duty state trooper roughly 10 miles away in Warren, Connecticut, called his dispatchers to report he had witnessed something falling from the sky in the area of Morris or Bantam. Now this was for real. Morris firefighters searched the lake on a boat in search of a possible plane crash. However, they didn't find any unusual debris, which would lead authorities to call off the search, leaving the mystery of the falling object unsolved at the time. Eventually, this story grabbed national attention. The Bantam Lake Protective Association's former president, Robert LeBone, sent an email to State Senator Andrew Rohraback and State Representative Craig Minor stating that he had been receiving emails from people as far away as Florida asking about the mystery object. With the lake being 25 feet at the deepest point, a whale-sized object should or could perhaps be easy to locate. However, all searches and efforts yielded no discoveries pertaining to the glowing, whale-sized object. Many officials and locals began to speculate that the object was not a UFO, and it was in fact a meteor from the recent meteor shower. It was even suggested that if they can find the space rock, they can sell it and have the proceeds go towards the good of the lake. But no trace was ever located. Was it a meteorite? Was it a UFO? A story that gripped the community in 2012 has lived on in constant speculation. We may never know exactly what happened, but something fell from the sky that night, and what is lost may still lie beneath the surface of Bantam Lake. To the north, across state lines into Massachusetts, is the Berkshire Mountain Range. Dotted with quaint towns and bustling main streets, breathtaking mountains and valleys control the landscape as rivers and streams worm through and ride with you as you journey from town to town. On September 1st, 1969, on a side road off Route 7 in Sheffield, Massachusetts, it was the site of something unexplainable. Something extraordinary, perhaps something out of this world. Strange lights appeared in the sky over the Berkshires. Phones to local radio stations and police stations rang off the hooks as residents began reporting unidentifiable saucer-like objects behaving erratically far above their heads. A 9-year-old Thomas Reed watched intently from the window of his family car as they neared the Sheffield covered bridge. As they exited the other side, the car sputtered and stalled. From underneath the flowing waters of the Housatonic River, a bright light appeared and rose up into the sky. Thomas, his brother, his mother and grandmother watched in astonishment as the object appeared in front of them as they helplessly sat in the powerless vehicle. Then the experience became a thing of legend. They awoke in what appeared to be a large airplane hangar. They were not alone. They saw what they explained to be large insect-like creatures. The shock and absolute horror that they must have felt is unimaginable. Thomas was taken into a separate room as his family pleaded for him. It is then they awoke back in their car with no explanation of what happened. Missing time, missing and incomplete memories of the encounter. Could this have been aliens? Could they have been taken? Could an advanced species of intellectual beings have chosen them that night for an unknown experiment or research? We may never know the entire truth of that night. What we do know is upwards of 40 people had sighted this unidentified aerial phenomenon throughout the area. Thomas Reed has also passed a polygraph on his claims. Sheffield and Great Barrington had also recognized this to be a truthful occurrence. So much so, they placed a plaque memorializing that night. Controversial as it was, the monument was recently removed and replaced by one funded by the History Channel's Ancient Aliens. Do you believe the Reed family's story? Or the countless others out there that have seen these UFOs or UAPs? Are we alone in this vast, constantly expanding universe? Are they malicious, as in much of science fiction? Or is something far more advanced than humankind simply watching, curiously, from a distance, plucking us from the safety of our homes and Earth for further study? Look to the sky for the truth you seek. Look to the stars. They may just be looking back.